Okay. I had to wait for my computer to get uploaded. Can you guys tell me, I see Addison and Amy, that you're on. Can you let me know if you can hear me? A thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. Maybe this is not working. Oh, wait. It is working. So I thought I would try this headset to see if sound quality improved. Can you guys hear me better than what you did yesterday morning? Yes or no? Type it, give me a thumbs up, something, or a thumbs down. Is there a thumbs down on here? SoundCloud, the sound is the same. Well, crap, man. Okay. Okay. So am I coming in and out, or am I good right now? I'm really trying to figure out this whole sound thing. Why Conscious Coffee is coming in and out the way it does. But the sound is the same. I'm gonna just take this out because these drive me crazy. I'm in. I'm in. Great. There you see, that was the front end. So we'll get started now. All right, and it's good for, okay, good. Thank you. Morning, Craig. All right. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Addison. Thank you for helping me do all those sound checks. And good morning, Craig. Okay. So, good news. I was up late and doing a last minute lunch, and then got up and literally like stumble bummed my butt down the stairs to my coffee pot that decided that it was only half a pot of coffee. Again, we're waiting on the coffee pot to be delivered. I'll tell you what, I'm ready for it to be here. I'm ready for my new coffee pot to be here because I'm sick and tired of my coffee pot thinking that we only need a half a pot of coffee when everybody is drinking coffee in the house in the morning. And that might seem silly that you're telling me that story, but it actually kind of leads into what I decided to talk about today. And so I titled this, Be Moved by What You Cannot See. Be moved by what you cannot see. And it was a really intense dream. I came out of the dream, and to be honest, I did not want to come out of the dream because it was a really good dream. It was a really, really, really good dream. But I laid there and was doing my morning gratitude prayer and had no one all snuggled up next to me and all that good stuff. And I actually saw this like pick in my hands, and I pictured something like hitting at a mountain, picking at a mountain. And I was like, oh, that's a good topic to talk about. That's what I'm supposed to talk about. Morning, Michael. I'm also supposed to talk about, like, always carrying a pick with you to tackle the issues and to push through things, and really the drive to do things. And this is sort of what I have going on this morning, and at the same time not, because then I came downstairs and the coffee pot was doing this thing, and then I got caught up in third world issues, right? This is like really, really tough stuff of the coffee pot not cooperating with me this morning. That made me kind of lean into the idea of what we were doing here. Be moved by what you cannot see. So even though my coffee cup's not a very serious issue, it got me to think about all the times that we feel like we are in a spot and we can't change. Right on this spot, and it feels like we have no place to turn, or it feels like we're just being tested, you know. And a lot of us might say, "Oh, I know God is testing me because this is going on and that's going on, and I'm really getting tested today, this week, this month. Maybe all of 2017 was a humongous test for you." And it just feels sometimes like we are just tested, tested, tested. And here's the thing, in those moments, do you accept that temporary situation, that temporary state of being? And how do you accept it? Do you accept it as just, this is just something I'm going through? Or are you looking at it as though this is my permanent situation. This is my present and my future. And maybe if you say yes to that one, the whole thing there might be, well, it's always been that way. I spent last year like that. I spent the last 5 years like that. That's just my luck. That's just the way it is for me. Right? But despite whatever the current situation is, and I do mean current situation because maybe you've had it what feels like your entire life, but it is just a situation, and you have a decision. We each have a decision to move through that and to see more to it. So it really is about the statement of God never gives you more than you can handle. Well, here you go. God never gives you more than you can handle, and we think that means that we have to push through something. I kind of believe just a wee bit different. I believe that God always gives us an option in there. He always gives us a way out of the situation. Now, whether we're consciously aware of the way out or not, that's a different story. But when we become consciously aware of it, that's when all of a sudden the situation changes. That's when things can move, because the doorway to getting out of the situation has always been there. It's not like it wasn't there. It was there. So we're presented with this opportunity to become conscious, this opportunity to make a different choice, to move through something differently. But we're not seeing it because we're not consciously aware. So here's where my title came in today. Be moved by what you cannot see. So we're moving through what we cannot see. And not moving through it as though we're just going to push through, but realize that there's something else out there, another opportunity, another option, another doorway that is there. And you just have to open up your eyes and find it, But these are not the eyes of, they're not our human eyes. They're eyes of the soul, eyes of intuition, eyes of inner knowing, eyes of belief, eyes of faith, whatever you might want to fill in the blank with again, but on that line. So it really is, it's, coming back to, and I know that I kind of stick to this, but it is coming back to following your intuition, following that internal faith line that you might have as you're making a claim on what you want your life to be. The thing about a half a pot of coffee is that it's like all the water hits the ground and you get this coffee that I'm gonna have hair on my chest by the time I'm done with conscious coffee here, because it's really, really potent. It's very very, very strong, and whoever's probably making coffee in there now is going to have like watered down nasty coffee. Oh well. Anyway, so as you're looking for these opportunities, as you're really exploring these different pathways out there, and I'm sure, and there's no way out, there's no options, I have to do what I have to do. There's just this, you have to just move forward. I'm so worried about sound. Pop me a thumbs up if you can hear. It sounds still good. But when you're moving through and you feel like you can't move any further, when you feel like you're being pushed in a direction, and God is giving you this, God, universe almost feels like this, that is greater than us has stepped away, has moved away from us, and here we are, this lonesome little human being out in the middle of troubled, like the Sahara Desert with lions chasing. Oh my gosh, what the heck? This is, like we've been forsaken almost, or lost. It's really, really important to realize that in those moments that is nothing more than the ego telling you, now granted, if you're really stuck in the middle of the Sahara Desert with a lion chasing you, probably need to, I would say, run, do something, do not drop and roll up into a little ball. It's not a bear. My video is going in and out. Earbuds aren't doing anything. Okay, thank you, Addison. I'm going to go ahead and take. I'm muffling my sound. The video is going in and out. Hold on. Let's see if I can fix this. Oh, it shows that my internet is great. Oh, okay. Try to get closer to my computer. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go on. I'm gonna just go on and try a bunch of different speaker things, I think, and see if I can figure it out. I noticed with my phone I didn't have that issue, or maybe I just need to start doing conscious coffee. Yeah. Okay. I just need to start doing conscious coffee on my phone. Set it up on the little tripod thingy and say, "The heck with the computer." I don't know. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow morning. I'm not going to change it right this very second. Yeah, my internet's strong, so yeah, internet's strong. It's all good. Okay. Sorry, technical stuff. I'm just trying to figure it out since I'm getting serious here about keeping conscious coffee going. I want to make sure that I get the best quality also because I have a whole bunch of different live trainings that I'm going to be doing, and I need to figure out exactly what works best. So I think it's telephone. I think it is the cell phone for the best quality. Funny how our phones are better quality than our computers sometimes, but they are. Anyway, back to being moved by what you cannot see. Thank you guys for letting me know all that stuff. So yeah, when you feel like you've really been abandoned and you feel like you're just out there drifting through, and really not getting the support from the universe that you feel that you have requested, that you've prayed for, that you've asked for, that you maybe even feel that you deserve, which you do. Realize that is all ego. That is all ego. Oh, excuse me. Ego that is blocking your vision. Ego that is blocking the doorways. It's making you actually don't um, see or feel the path that you're supposed to be on. It's making it where you are basically you're preventing yourself. Your internal self is preventing yourself. So it's like self-sabotage stuff going on, and we're not even aware of it. So we are being tempted by being average and ordinary in that moment. And so many people will actually fall to that and believe that they don't have a choice, they don't have a decision to make there, that it just is the way it is. And they might state the truth of I'm being tested, but not realizing that in the middle of the test that there is an opportunity, there is a doorway out, that you have not been tempted and not provided a way to stand up and show your strength to stand up and get out from underneath whatever whatever load you're bearing. So there's always an opportunity there. It's just becoming consciously aware of it. And once we go looking for the doorway, that's where it seems like if you just buckle down and get really, really certain in your faith and in the right God universe, I know that there's an opportunity here. And I'm not going to just push through, but I'm going to actually go internally and start doing the internal work and really start doing the mindfulness stuff and checking in with my emotions and checking in with what's going on in here and in here. And when you do that, it's like God says, oh, hey, there's a person that really wants it. There's a person that is searching. And what are we coming to? We're coming to, knock and the door will be opened. The asking and the knocking comes from in here and in here. It's not a physical act. It's not a physical push through. It is a pushing through by opening up, by surrendering to. And every time you think, oh, I'm surrendered, you still need to surrender more. It's like surrender more, knock more, ask more. Demand the things that you want, and demanding like a small child. And this is not God give me what I want. This is what I want. Show me a way. Okay, this is what I want. Show me a way. Open yourself up to it. The demand comes from the surrender, not from some piss poor attitude. If you're stomping your feet and you're throwing yourself like a 3-year-old, that's probably not going to get you anywhere, much like 3-year-olds. But if you actually demand from going internally and start to do the changes internally so that you can move forward, then all of a sudden the universe, God comes in and says, oh, that's what you want. Here you go. And stuff just starts to line up for you. So, you have to poise yourself for the breakthrough of what you're wanting. But you do that in not conforming to average and ordinary, and not conforming to the things of this world. And that again comes back to be moved by what you cannot see. Things of this world are things that you see with your humanly eyes. And you're only paying attention with our humanly eyes. We're seeing about 2% of reality. And miracles happen. Our life happens. Everything is created in the 98% of the world that we don't see. So it's really, really important to realize that in order to become in alignment to that 98% of what we do not see, that we have to not look outward from here, but to feel and connect outward from going internally. So we go internal to go up and up. Okay? So in, up, out. My goal. The more that I look for the doorway, the harder it is to see. And is when I simply acknowledge the multiple doors available. Feel myself walking through and stepping across those thresholds Magic happens and miracles manifest seemingly out of the air. Exactly. So it's kind of like it's kind of like watching a pot of water, right? You watch a pot of water, and it seems like oh my gosh, it just takes forever for the boil. And then you step away, and I don't know, you turn around and you start to do something, and then it seems like 30 seconds later the pot of water is boiling. What happened? All you did was you stepped away and you allowed for the energy to flow differently. You allowed for a doorway to open, for movement to happen instead of trying to control the movement. And it is proven again and again in quantum physics. If you've not seen the movie, What the Bleep, it's a fantastic movie to see because it really does go through and it gives it a very layman style of normal people out here in the world. But it is proven through quantum physics that anytime energy is watched by the human eye and that we apply our consciousness just of being there into the space with anything, that the physical world actually takes a change. Now, granted, my cup of coffee is still going to look like my cup of coffee. No matter what I think, it would take a lot of really potent thought, like I'd have to radiating thought to really be able to actually physically change the coffee. It's a great focus, which I don't have because I don't have enough coffee. But if I hold on to my coffee cup, or if I make, here's a great example. I know I'm flipping gears, whatever. Have you ever made something when you really been cooking when you're really angry and you're upset? What happens? If you're cooking when you're really upset, the food tastes like crap. I know. I'll go grab a coffee. So, if you've ever cooked a meal that, and you were just in this really, really crappy mood, and you cook this meal and you're in a really, really crappy mood, all of a sudden you taste the food and your salt is probably off and your seasoning is probably off, things just aren't blending right, it just doesn't come together very well. It's very rare that when we're cooking in total that the food comes out phenomenal. But if you're cooking and you're cooking in love and you're just, it's like if you're really putting your heart and your soul into the food and you're just cooking because of the sheer enjoyment of cooking and what you're giving, now how does the food come out? All of a sudden, you can take something, it just kind of like falls together. It's like this, it's just a miracle that happens. You might not even need a recipe, you might not need anything to really get it going, but everything is just perfect. It comes together and it tastes good and everybody enjoys it. There is energy in everything that we do, and when we apply that energy, positive or negative, to anything else, such as food, such as our lives, we're applying either a positive or a negative energy. So positive and negative is what it's all about. Love or fear, right? You can say spirit or ego, whichever way, however you want to look at this. Positive and negative is you're constantly applying this energy, one of those energies, to every single situation in your life. So whether it is cooking or making a cup of coffee, or if it is lining up to a desire that you want, how you are showing up in a relationship, when you're driving your car, calling in the right job in your life, it does not matter. What is the energy that you're applying to it? And when we go in and we do the internal work, that's where we have the movement, because we're shifting from internally, and our external world will shift according to our internal world. And our consciousness has effect on every single thing on this planet. And here's the really big, amazing thing is that it happens instantaneously. It happens absolutely instantaneously. So it's really, really important to realize that when you're thinking stuff and you're sitting in worry and you're sitting in fear and you feel like God, the universe has abandoned you, that stuff is coming from a place of fear, a place like of ego. If you want to take it into, you can say, I use the word Satan frequently. That is the evil. And it is all fake. It's all bullshit. And none of it is real. When there's always, always, always a way through things in a positive manner, there's always opportunity to open up a doorway and fully claim what you want. If you've asked for something, if you really, really asked with your heart from the deepest space in you, so from your spirit, for guidance, for direction, for support, it's there. And it is not there tomorrow. It is not there in a year from now. This is not something that you have to wait for. And here's what I really, really want you to get from this. You do not have to wait for the support, for the change. Good morning, Paul. You do not have to wait for the support. It happens like that. It is there. Our energy is, it moves through things. And there is nothing else on this planet, no other form of energy that can move the way our conscious intent moves. So we can penetrate right straight through the earth to the other side of the planet, and our consciousness can go straight there within like a millisecond almost. I'm not a scientist, but what I can tell you is that it has been proven scientifically that human thought does not slow down because of distance. It does not. It goes through every single thing. So our energy goes through things. Can go through cement walls, can go through metal, can go into deep, caves. Will travel thousands of miles in no time. It penetrates through everything. It doesn't have to go flipping around in all these different ways. It goes straight through things. If you feel like you're waiting for the support from the universe, from God, if you feel like you have to, like it's taking a long time, that is all a perceived notion that you have to wait, because right at your fingertips right now. And it is in opening up to that and surrendering to that you actually gain the sight. So it's this very interesting space of stepping away from the situation and at the same time fully leaning into the situation. So you're surrendering into it. Hands up, right? It's that whole vision of you're down on your knees, hands up, and it's just like, I can do no more. That's what we picture as surrender. But it is in here, not necessarily the physical. How do you surrender your control of the situation internally? Or are you just going through the external motions to show that you have done it? So look at it like that. And really just, are you surrendering from the external or from the internal? Because the external, you can take all the action that you think you should be taking, and the true action that you need to be taking is an internal action, and then the external action will mimic what is going on, because you might need to do something so opposite of what you think you need to be doing as far as the external action. It's not even funny. But you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know the doorway to take. You're not going to know how to open up things and really channel things through if you don't do the internal work. In here. So pay attention to the thoughts again. It's always pay attention to the thoughts. Pay attention to the emotions. It's really, really important. So yeah, so you're always being given a choice, no matter what. If you think that you can't move through something, make the commitment right now in this moment. So if you caught yourself saying, my life has always been, I always attract this person into my life. I always attract, why does this always happen to me? Oh, I'm so unlucky. Life is just a struggle. Something on that line, okay? Or pick something smaller. Oh yeah, my work is always a struggle. Really don't like my job, but I have to do it. Whatever it is. I always living paycheck to paycheck. Whatever that might be, look at it and start flipping the gears on it and realize that you do have choice in the moment. It is you make the commitment in this moment to moving through it by doing the internal work, by shifting that shit and letting it move for the way it needs to move. Let me with my quotes. Let me see. Oh, actually, it's a biblical quote. It's 2 Corinthians. It's really quick. We walk by faith, not by sight. Supporting what I was talking about. We move by what you cannot see. We walk by faith, not by sight. And it's no matter, again, despite your current situations, make your mind up to get out of your life and fulfill your purpose, your calling. And that does not necessarily mean that it has to be some Mother Teresa thing. It just means that your purpose in the moment, your calling in the moment, because I do believe that our purpose changes consistently. We have a core desire, spiritual desire, and our purpose kind of moves around it. So it's taking us moment to moment to moment closer to that divine state of being for this lifetime. And you have to get out of your own way. You have to get out of your own way, which means you have to release control, which means you have to let go of mountains that you keep putting in front of yourself and let yourself move forward and really truly realize that it's what you cannot see that is supporting you, that is really there. And you're going to be able to see it as soon as you open yourself to it, which means that you got to take the blinders off, and allow yourself to see it. Allow yourself to see it. So, I'm worried about the sound. Sorry, guys. I'm really worried about the sound. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to just do the phone tomorrow. So, that, and I have all this clamoring going on around behind me. I hope you guys didn't hear too much of that. Maybe that was. So, I guess my homework for you today, I did not give homework yesterday, I don't think. My homework, my suggestion to you is write down those challenging thoughts. Write down the blockages that you have. What are those repetitive thoughts and statements that you're feeding yourself? I've rattled off a few through this last 30 some odd minutes. Those are in alignment to you, fine, write those down. But then write them down, and then, ask yourself, is that true? Is that true? Is that true? How can I surrender more? How can I go deeper? What would be my other choice here? What are my choices? And if you come up against the I don't have a choice, I want you to write in capital letters, like go get a Sharpie and say, thank you, ego. You can now move to the side. Thank you, ego. Thank you, ego. And just start calling it for what it is. And granted, you might think that's not going to give you an answer, a doorway. But the thing with the ego is once you call it out, it's kind of like a bully, right? If you actually call out the bully, stand up to the bully, most bullies go away. And the ego will change its game. It's not going to go away as long as you're living and breathing. What's going to change its game is going to drop those particular topics. So call out the ego, write down those patterns, write down those thoughts, write down the things that you're feeling stuck, that you cannot move through. And I mean, physically write it down. A pen, and write it down, and then notice where you start to get stuck. Every time you say, I don't have a choice here. There's no way out. I don't know what my options are. I don't have an answer for that. All the answers are inside of you. You're just not listening. You're blocked. Your ego is blocking you. We all do it, self included. We're all guilty of this. But if you want to live a guided life, if you want to really claim your life and move forward and have a life that you want and desire, then the first step, one of the biggest first steps to it, next to desire and belief, is figuring out what your patterns are so that you can get through them, see them for what they are, shine the light on the darkness, and really take a strong holding step on your path to move forward. So here's what your homework is. Write down those limiting beliefs. Ask yourself, is that true? Is that true? Is that true? And then when you come up against the wall, that is, I don't have an option here. I don't have a choice. Every time you hear yourself, I don't have a choice. I'm stuck. There's no other option. Write with a Sharpie, a red pen, something different, okay? Something different and bold that you can really see. Thank you, ego. And that's it. You're just calling out your ego. That's the gist of this. And I promise you that by the time you get done with that, you're going to see your ego so many times that your ego is going to go running into hiding for a little bit, at least on those particular topics, and give you some breathing room to actually see other options. The second step to that would be as soon as you call out your ego a whole bunch, ask for guidance and start to open up to it in every way possible. Pay attention to the music that's playing when you walk into the grocery store. Don't just discredit the little things that feel like potentially deja vu moments, or when something gets really, really loud, or you notice that the same person with the same name keeps appearing to you, or something is just being more obvious. So when those things that are really, really obvious appear to you, those are messages. Deciphering the messages is a whole nother ballgame, but start to at least become aware that you are being fed messages every single day, that the answers are out there. You just got to be aware of them. You've got to start paying attention. Okay? And you're not going to be able to pay attention as long as the ego has blinders on you. So we're removing the blinders today. Okay? With that, I think I'm going to let you go. Feel free to let me know how the blind removing is going. I'll have to hear your guys' processes. And as always, if it's in your heart to share this conscious coffee or any of the conscious coffees, take your favorite conscious coffee. Go back and share one of the other ones. There's a lot of fantastic conscious coffees that have some great conversations going on the side and everything. And I'm committed to make sure that conscious coffee goes on through the year of 2018 to get some really good movement. Spend 30-40 minutes during the week with everybody and give that spiritual coaching lesson of really, taking our lives to the next level and claiming them, claiming that desired life that each one of us wants. Okay? So